Hey everyone! Before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button on my channel to stay updated with more powerful narratives like this one. My first anaphylactic episode struck when I was 31, sipping a latte at a local coffee shop. One minute I was savoring my drink, the next my throat tightened, hives spread like wildfire across my skin, and my blood pressure plummeted, sending me crashing to the floor. Paramedics administered 2 doses of epinephrine to restore my breathing. After weeks of tests, the allergist diagnosed idiopathic anaphylaxis, explaining that my immune system was inexplicably turning against me, with no clear trigger. Over the next 6 months, I endured 12 more attacks at work, at home, even in my car, each requiring emergency epinephrine, each brushing dangerously close to fatal. As a research scientist at the National Institutes of Health specializing in infectious disease epidemiology, these unpredictable episodes forced me out of the lab. Dr. Alan Chin, an immunologist at Johns Hopkins, took on my case. After exhaustive genetic and immune panel testing, he identified the culprit, hereditary alpha tryptophanemia syndrome, HATS. He showed me the genetic data, explaining that this rare disorder caused my body to overproduce tryptase, leading to excessive mast cell activity and severe allergic reactions to seemingly random triggers. Without intensive treatment and strict environmental controls, I faced a constant risk of deadly anaphylaxis. The treatment was rigorous: daily medications, multiple EpiPens, home and workplace modifications, and quarterly infusions of a cutting-edge biologic drug, costing me $65,000 a year out of pocket. This is critical, Olivia, Dr. Chin warned. HATS patients have died from reactions sparked by stress, temperature shifts, or even intense emotions. You'll need strong family support. That evening, I called my sister, Bethany, 34, a corporate event planner known for orchestrating lavish weddings and galas. She was busy planning our parents' 40th anniversary celebration, a grand event set for October with 200 guests. When I shared my diagnosis, her tone was dismissive. A genetic condition, Olivia. It sounds like you're blowing your allergies out of proportion. I explained it was a mast cell disorder, not allergies, and that I'd had 12 anaphylactic episodes in 6 months. 12? That's a bit much. Are you sure it's not just anxiety? You've always been a worrier. I told her I carried 4 EpiPens and that Dr. Chin warned any reaction could be fatal. He's probably exaggerating, she replied. Let's focus on Mom and Dad's party. I've reserved the Riverside Country Club, hired caterers, ordered flowers. The budget's already $70,000. I need you there, looking vibrant, not turning this into a health crisis. My hands trembled, a potential trigger for a reaction. Bethany, large gatherings might be too risky. The stress alone could, she cut me off. This is their 40th anniversary, Olivia. You're not skipping it over some allergy drama. I've bragged to everyone that my sister's a brilliant NIH scientist. Don't embarrass me by bailing. I insisted I was just trying to stay alive, not cause a scene. You're being over the top. Pop an antihistamine and you'll be fine. I expect you in October, wearing something nice. Maybe emerald green for family photos. She hung up before I could respond. My parents' reaction was even more disheartening. Dad, a retired accountant, and Mom, a former elementary school principal, had no medical expertise but trusted Bethany implicitly. When I explained my diagnosis, Mom said, Bethany thinks you're making a big deal out of allergies. She's stressed about the party, Olivia. Can you just go along with it? I clarified that it was a documented genetic disorder, backed by Dr. Chin's published research on HATS. Bethany knows you better than any doctor, Mom countered. She says you've always exaggerated. Remember when you thought you had mono in college, but it was just a cold? I pointed out the genetic testing, but they brushed it off. Bethany says you need to manage stress better. Maybe try yoga. I began meticulously recording everything. Every dismissive remark from Bethany, every text downplaying my condition, every email from my parents siding with her over my medical evidence. I also tracked my condition rigorously, every reaction, ER visit, and treatment protocol. Unbeknownst to my family, my work at NIH had pivoted after my diagnosis. I'd become a leading researcher on HATS, collaborating with Dr. Chin, and a CDC team on the largest ever study of hereditary mast cell disorders. We were cataloging cases, analyzing genetic patterns, and developing treatment protocols, with me as the lead author. Over the next 4 months, I suffered 6 more anaphylactic reactions despite treatment, each leading to hours in the ER, thousands in medical bills, and days recovering. My condition was so severe that NIH adjusted my duties to remote work, limited lab exposure, and flexible hours. Bethany called regularly about the party, never asking about my health. I need your RSVP for October 15th. The caterer needs a head count. I explained that large crowds were a trigger and the stress of a 200-person event could be dangerous. What? A little allergic reaction. Take a Benadryl, Olivia. I've spent $70,000 on this. Mom and Dad expect both their daughters there. Don't ruin it. I reiterated my serious medical condition, but she dismissed it. My friend's kid has peanut allergies and manages fine. You're just craving attention. When I tried explaining the genetic testing and published Hat's research, she interrupted. I don't need a lecture. I need you at the party looking healthy and normal. Can you manage that? Or are you going to make it all about you? My research paper, co-authored with Dr. Chin and the CDC team, was in final review at the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology, a top-tier publication. It documented over 200 Hat's patients, identified genetic markers, and outlined treatment protocols, set to publish in mid-October. The week before the party, I had my worst reaction yet. At home, with no clear trigger, my throat closed. I barely managed to use my EpiPen before passing out. My neighbor found me and called 911. I spent 3 days in the ICU. Bethany visited for 20 minutes. The party's in 5 days. You're out tomorrow, so rest up and make it. I've told everyone you're coming. I told her I'd nearly died, but you didn't. You used your EpiPen. The doctors fixed you up. This is what I mean about drama. It's just an allergic reaction, normal for allergy people. Don't make it worse with panic. Just take extra meds and show up. After she left, I saw an email from the journal confirming the paper's publication on October 15th, the same day as the party. The bio noted, Dr. Olivia Martinez, lead NIH researcher specializing in rare immunological disorders, diagnosed with HATS in 2024, now a global expert in hereditary mast cell disorders. I asked the journal to send publication alerts to my emergency contacts, including my parents and Bethany. On October 15th, I was discharged from the hospital with strict bed rest orders and couldn't attend the party. I texted Bethany, I'm sorry I can't make it. Just out of ICU. Doctor's orders for rest. Her reply was instant. You're unbelievable, Olivia. You're sabotaging Mom and Dad's party out of jealousy. So typical. I didn't respond and focused on recovery. The party began at 2 p.m. By 3 o'clock, my phone was flooded with messages. The journal's publication had gone live at noon, sending alerts to my emergency contacts with details of my research and role as lead author. Unbeknownst to me, Dr. Sarah Williams, the CDC director and a family friend invited to the party, had received the alert. Recognizing the study's importance, she interrupted Bethany's toast. Excuse me, Dr. Williams said, I need to address something urgent. Holding her phone, she announced, I received a notification about a landmark publication in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology, led by Dr. Olivia Martinez, your daughter. My parents were puzzled. Olivia works at NIH, but she's not a doctor, Dad said. She has a PhD in epidemiology and immunology, Dr. Williams corrected. This study, the most comprehensive on hereditary alpha tryptophanemia syndrome, covers 200 patients, genetic analysis, and treatment protocols. It's a game changer for rare mast cell disorders. The room fell silent. Olivia just has allergies, Mom said. Dr. Williams's tone sharpened. She has HATS, a life-threatening genetic disorder, not allergies. She's had 23 anaphylactic reactions in 8 months, multiple hospitalizations. She's the world's leading expert on this condition because she lives with it. Bethany paled. She's exaggerating minor allergies, she said. Dr. Williams displayed the paper on her phone. Patient 1A is Olivia. She nearly died last week in ICU. This isn't minor. Bethany protested. She was in the hospital 3 days. She's fine now. She's alive, Dr. Williams clarified. There's a difference. HATS has a 12% mortality rate within 5 years without proper treatment. It's triggered by stress, temperature, or nothing at all. My parents exchanged glances, then asked, "Where's Olivia?" Bethany said, "She refused to come, claiming she's too sick. But I think she's just making it about her." Dr. Williams interjected. "She was discharged from ICU this morning. She finalized this paper from her hospital bed, conducting groundbreaking research while battling the condition herself." She looked at Bethany. "You told people she's exaggerating allergies." Her paper thanks her team and doctors for support, noting a lack of family understanding. A guest, a doctor, stood. "I just read the paper. Dr. Martinez's work on genetic markers could save lives." Another guest noted, "The CDC tweeted about this as a landmark study." Bethany sank into her seat. Mom began to cry. "Dad called me, but I didn't answer." Dr. Williams continued, "As CDC director, I oversee research funding. This study exemplifies why we prioritize rare disease research by those with lived experience. Dr. Martinez may present at national conferences and receive federal grants." She turned to my parents. "Your daughter is a leading expert surviving a deadly condition. Yet you've called her dramatic for months." The room stayed silent, save for Mom's sobs. The party unraveled after Dr. Williams's speech. Guests discussed the paper, its implications, and my condition, with several doctors stunned by my family's dismissal of a serious diagnosis. My parents called repeatedly that evening. I answered at 8 p.m. "Olivia, we had no idea," Mom sobbed. "Dr. Williams showed us your paper. Why didn't you tell us how bad it was?" I replied, "I told you multiple times. You said I was dramatic. You believed Bethany over medical evidence." "We're so sorry," Dad said. "Dr. Williams says your research is groundbreaking. We didn't know you were so accomplished." "I've been at NIH for 6 years," I said. "You never asked about my work. I built a 200-patient cohort while battling this condition, while you told me I was faking it." Bethany texted an apology. "I didn't know it was this serious. I thought it was anxiety. Can we talk?" I didn't reply. The publication went viral in medical circles. Within a week, I got interview requests, conference invitations, and interest from NIH for expanded funding. Dr. Williams called, "The CDC wants to fund a 5-year, multi-million-dollar national HATS registry, with you leading it." I accepted, honored. She apologized for the party scene, but said, "When I saw people thought you were faking a condition you're the expert on, I had to speak." I thanked her. 2 months later, Bethany texted, "Mom and Dad want a family dinner to celebrate your paper. They're proud, telling everyone. Can you come?" I replied, "I'm focusing on my health and research now. Maybe later." The truth was, they'd spent 8 months calling my life-threatening condition allergy drama, while I built the largest HATS registry ever. They told me to take Benadryl while I was in ICU, accused me of attention-seeking while I published landmark research. Dr. Williams didn't ruin family ties. She shared public research at a party where my absence was questioned. My family prioritized a party over my survival, dismissed my expertise, and ignored my hospitalizations. The journal, the genetic tests, and my 23 anaphylactic reactions told the truth. My research was saving lives, including my own. Now 32, I manage HATS with protocols I helped create, lead a CDC-funded study, and present at conferences where my expertise is valued. My family wants to celebrate my now validated success. But for 8 months, they chose to call me dramatic instead of believing me. Peer-reviewed science doesn't bend to family opinions, unlike my sister's party plans.